Stop being manipulated by these boot camp marketing tactics. Hey junior devs, Dev Mentor Dave here, helping you bridge the gap from learning to code to launching a successful career. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the techniques that boot camps use to market to junior developers or people who are looking to learn how to code, and maybe some things that you want to watch out for as you're looking at those websites and doing your web search. This is from our last live stream dealing with the pros and cons of coding boot camps. If that's something you're interested in, I'll put the link to the full live stream down below. Let's get to it. So I just want to take a few minutes and take a look at some of these coding bootcamp websites and just kind of talk you through some of the things that I see on there and that I think you should be aware of when you're actually looking at these websites. It's important to know kind of what they're talking about and maybe see some things that you might not have noticed otherwise. So this is just a quick search that I did right here. It says coding boot camps right here in the search bar. I could have done like near me or something like that, right? For beginners or some good things. I just did coding boot camps. So the first thing that you should always recognize when you're doing a search in Google, please recognize this. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of search engine optimization companies anymore either. Almost every item here at the beginning is a sponsored listing. That means it's an advertisement. All right. So every single one of these first things, except for this last one, is an advertisement for a coding bootcamp. So they're spending money to try to get us to get to their website, to fill out their information so that they can convince us to be a part of their coding bootcamp. That's, like I said, this is a huge money-making, not scheme. I mean, they're actually teaching real skills. So I'm not saying it's a scheme, but it's a real money-making prospect for them. So they're spending money on advertising. So I think it's good for us to realize that when we get into this question of should I use a boot camp to learn how to write code. So let's just take the first one here, appacademy.io. And again, I don't have any issues with any of these companies personally. I don't know. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not against them in any specific way. I don't have an axe to grind necessarily, but I just kind of want to walk through some of these websites and so you can kind of see what they're doing, right? So change your career, change your life. You know, that's what we want to do. We want to change our career, change our life. We want to get a high paying job. If you go back here, what's the saying? Pay zero till hired, get $77,000 job. I'll just be honest with you, $77,000 is a little high in my opinion. You're probably not going to make that as a junior developer in your first job, unless they just have some really interesting connections, which they could. But you know, we'll see. Notice this one, learn to code in 12 weeks, 12-week software engineer course. This one down here, 16 weeks. So 4 months, right? So 3 months, 3 months, 4 months. But yeah, so we're wanting to change the, you know, they're pulling on heartstrings, right? We want to change our situation. They've got some nice things about them that people have said. So here's some 2019 graduates. 93% placement rate. Now that's interesting to think about. So this is their placements are based on 2019. That's something to keep an eye on. We are almost 5 years past that now. So 4 years for sure. A lot can change in 4 years. You know, the economy can tank in 4 years. The market can become saturated in 4 years. So just because in 2019 they had a 93% placement rate, that doesn't mean that is still the case today. Also, look what it says, San Francisco campus, right? Well, where's San Francisco? Well, that's right down there in, you know, the software capital of the world, right? Silicon Valley. I don't know how close they are, to be honest with you, but you know that's the San Francisco campus right there next to where all the tech giants are hiring people, and now these days are firing people, right? So these are the things you got to watch out for, right? So now, are they saying anything that's a lie? No, but you got to, look at these things and say, okay, does this make sense for me, right? Starting salary $104,000 in San Francisco, 86,900 in New York. All right, so these are very specific campuses that they're talking about here. This is an interesting tactic. I almost said ploy. I don't mean to be mean, but this is an interesting tactic here. Pay no tuition until you're hired. Now, what that looks like typically is they're going to require a certain percentage of your salary. So they'll train you. And a lot of times with these programs, we won't take the time to dig into this, but a lot of times if you don't get a job, like within a certain time period, you owe them money, right? Because they're not doing this out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing this to make money. So the idea is you get hired, and then you pay them a portion of your salary basically over a set period of time, either months or potentially even years, right? They offer online campus, part-time or full-time. So they got kind of different variety of things that you can choose from. 24 weeks. So that's at least a different period of time. We've got a 16-weeker here and a 24-week. What's the difference between full-time? I don't know. We could probably dig into that and find out. So this is interesting, right? Again, where are we getting our statistics from, right? Our statistics are coming from San Francisco campus, New York campus, right there around those places that are Google, Microsoft, Meta, Slack. That's where these companies are, right? So again, is this a bad company? No, but we need to understand what's actually being said here. We need to understand what's actually being sold here. And they got a little quiz to take you through. It's going to direct you to the thing that they think you should buy and be a part of. Again, they're talking about the industry professionals. These are the types of people who have given input as far as what our content should be. So this is a nice little keyword to throw in, right? Everything's AI now. So who knows how much time they actually spend on AI? I mean, you got to learn how to code first, and that takes a good chunk of time. So, I mean, the AI piece of this is probably very short introduction to AI. So they've got some other ways to interact with them. They've got some preparation courses that probably there's a free account. So they've got some ways to engage with them before you jump in and pay money. I just wonder, let's take a look at the tuition financing page. How to pay. You can pay up front. So anywhere from $17,000 to $22,000, depending on what you're trying to do. And the prep programs that we looked at, they're just on the last page, $500 to almost $4,000 for a prep class before you get into the boot camp. So something to keep in mind, $17,000 to $22,000. They offer financing. Man, I'm not just saying this because I've taught a Dave Ramsey course before, but I would not encourage anybody to finance their degree or their anything like this. So man, I just wouldn't do it. So what's interesting here is our ISA, once you've graduated and have a job earning at least $50,000. So that's a low number because they know you'll probably get that. You remember what did the ad say? The ad said, get a $77,000 job, right? So, but if you're making $50,000, then you're going to start paying us back, right? So you'll begin to pay back tuition in monthly installments equal to 15% of your gross monthly income. Notice that's gross income, not net income. If you don't know the difference. So net income is the money that you actually take home after taxes, benefits, things like that are taken out. Gross is what you actually earned. And so it's 15% of your gross income, not 15% of what you actually are taking home. Something to keep in mind when you're paying that back out of $50,000. What's 15% of $50,000? Hang on, let me think about this. I'm not good at math. $50,000, 10% would be 5,000, so it'd be $7,500, right? So 15%, $7,500. You'll continue making these payments for 36 months or until you've reached ISA maximum for your program, whichever comes first. Man, that's immersive programs, $31,000 to $36,000. That's a lot of money. Wow. Okay, well, I don't want to sit here and beat up on this one any longer, but again, that's a lot of money to go through a course that, man, they're shoving a lot of information in you in 24 months, even if they do have good connections with a job. Wow. Okay, so KU, if you don't know, is University of Kansas, local-ish here to Kansas City, where I am. They're in Lawrence, Kansas. And so KU has a coding bootcamp. I've actually worked with a junior developer who went through a coding bootcamp at Kansas, University of Kansas, and it was pretty good, actually. But I will tell you this, the feedback that I got from him and the feedback that I get from a lot of junior developers on these boot camps is, I wish I could go back through it again now that I am familiar with all the terminology and things that they talked about, right? So again, that's part of the problem, shoving all this information in a small period of time. So we've got 24 weeks, flexible structure. They're going to list a bunch of skills that you're going to learn. Notice self-study topics. Again, this is a lot of stuff to try to cram into 24 weeks. And I don't know if this says schedule. Coding boot camp. Oh, that just takes us back to the same thing. That's annoying. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm looking for something that tells me how much time a week is actually part of this, because I don't remember. Ah, here we go. Dedicated 9 hours of scheduled in-class time per week. Okay, notice this. 9 hours of in-class time. So, let's say you've got 3 days a week that you're having class. So it's 3 hours, 3 days a week. But they're expecting you to do a minimum of 20 hours of outside class and hands-on projects and practice and work. So you're paying X amount of dollars for 9 hours a week of instruction, and then they're just going to give you projects basically to do on your own. Now, you typically have groups that you can interact with. You can ask questions, of your teachers and things like that, depending on their availability. But where's the bulk of the process here, right? The bulk of the process, double the time, is you working on your own, trying to figure stuff out. 9 hours of it really is more instruction than like mentoring, coming alongside. Now they do answer questions, which is good, right? But yeah, most of the time spent is going to be you working on your own, or maybe sometimes with a partner or something like that. So again, something to keep in mind with what you're actually paying for. I forget, did we see a price on this? I didn't see a price on this. I think this one was around 17,000. Oh, maybe FAQs. Let's try that. Oh, this is just a single page, isn't it? I don't see it. Oh well, let's move on. Now this is an interesting one. So they come out here. We got 12,000 plus hires. Placed more grads in high growth, high pay tech careers. Right. So again, what are they saying? We're gonna get you a job, right? We're gonna get you a job. 97,000 global alumni. Now, again, what's an alumni? An alumni is somebody who's passed the course. That doesn't mean that all 97,000 of these people actually got jobs. It just means that they passed the course. That's what an alumni is. A graduate, right? 20,000 expert instructors. That's interesting to me. They must have a lot of different small locations, because it looks like we've got some in-person options here. But again, some of the same stuff that we're looking at before: front-end development, full-stack development, front-end frameworks and APIs, exploring different technologies. And there's 4 different units, and again, 12 to 24 weeks. Again, man, 3 to 6 months. It's a lot. That's a small amount of time to put all that information into your brain in a way that's usable, right? So again, almost $17,000 for this one. So this is a good chunk of money, right? This is a good chunk of money. Here's another one. This is an interesting statement that I found on this website here. Can I actually learn code in 16 weeks? Yes, of course you can. Even if you're a complete beginner, we have been perfecting our curriculum since 2012. So if you're eager to learn, study. If you're eager to learn, study software development. Not sure that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, of course you can learn it, right? What are they going to tell you? No, you can't learn it. Please go away. We don't want your money. Yeah, sure, you can learn it. It's not necessarily true. I don't see anything on here about giving you a test to see if you can learn it. I don't know. Coding Dojo. I just thought that was an interesting statement. Anyway, hopefully that was a help to you. And if so, would you click the like button so the YouTube will tell other people about it? And if you've not subscribed to our channel yet, click the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified every time we upload a video or every time we go live, which is every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. We'll see you on the next one.